The Hulk has finally stumbled onto a planet he cannot break. A planet of the Hulks. Yes, that's right, of the Hulks. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk about comic books, movies, and series and whatnot. In today's video, we are talking about the planet of the Hulks. After the Hulks battle with Thor, he travels the worlds and he lands on a planet occupied mostly by Hulks. And in that moment, he has a flashback to when he was a kid, on the day he lost his mother to his father's hand, a 5-year-old boy, alone and confused, covered in the blood of his mother. He was now officially alone. A police officer brought him some coffee, but you see Bruce was confused because he couldn't find it. At that moment, we learn what the it is, because even when he was younger, he was constantly picked on. He was weak, he was scrawny, and he liked science, a perfect target for bullies. And his mother was always there to remind him that he was strong, using science to explain that even the sun, as mighty as it is, as large as it is, shining light on this planet Earth, cannot pass through the ground because of his shadow. He is in no way weak. And because of this, anytime he looks at his shadow, he's always reminded that he is strong. His mother was his rock, and now she was gone, and he could not find the shadow. Young Bruce was officially alone. Back in the present day, though, we see him in his big castle with a colossal statue of his face. We see Bruce talking to himself, or as we know, having a therapy session, remembering issues of his past, until he is interrupted by Monolith, the leader of the planet of the Hulks, the Queen. He tries to apologize and explain that he was having a conversation in his mind, but it just seemed stupid because she didn't understand him. So she made it clear that he can be comfortable, that this is his home. So he asked her a simple question: what is this place? And she goes on to explain. And in my opinion, this is one of the best creation stories I've ever heard. Almost like the Bible. Anyways, this picks up after the events of the former Earth, where Bruce first landed, with the former scientific version of himself that had turned half of the world into Hulklings. We learned that all the Hulks they didn't want or could not weaponize were sent to this barren wasteland of a planet. They were tossed like angels from heaven to the earth. They were abominations. They were abandoned, filled with rage because obviously they were Hulks. They didn't even listen to the message that he left them. They just went straight to their primal instinct. And if they were Hulks, they loved to fight. No teammates, just combat. This was a battle royale. They fought themselves, then they fought the planet, destroying the mountains, bleeding all over the floor. This was thousands, millions of Hulks destroying one single planet, almost destroying this planet with their bare hands. This battle royale went on for a while. They completely reshaped this planet with their bare hands. The mountains formed a ring that protected them from their gamma-radiating sun. And since all of them were Hulks, their blood produced life, and all of them were fighting on one planet, so life began to sprout. They stopped fighting and started to build. Food became bountiful. They started to eat. They started to evolve. But suddenly, their amazing sun that has kept them warm exploded in a big burst of light. We see that this light was birthed because of the Hulk, and the Hulk made it rain gamma radiation, which further evolved them. Now, they were not just Hulks. They were Hulks that were supercharged in the mind and body. The gamma storm even evolved the plants to grow faster, so food was bountiful. They evolved in tech in days. These people evolved and made a kingdom, an empire. They were becoming perfect. They were becoming the Hulks, and they were proud of it. We see Bruce exercising in their facility, and for some reason he is sweating. He had to take a moment to put down the machine, and he said it was heavy, concept that wasn't known to anyone in that room. They were even shocked when they heard it. Their God is calling this heavy, taking the Hulk to see more of their kingdom. They walked around, and the Hulk asked her to call him Bruce, which also was an abomination. Bruce was not his name. Their God was called the Hulk. As they exited the science center, we discover that something was wrong. Even the citizens were realizing it now. The Hulk didn't look healthy. But for some reason, these people had built a whole coliseum, a whole museum to the Hulk's greatness, even calling Thor Satan. And they loved watching the Hulk beat Thor down, even if he lost that fight. But for some reason, he chose not to let her know he lost. He tried to explain what happened, that it was a battle with science. He tried to explain about the other Earth, but she didn't want to listen. He was their God, and everything he is doing currently was a slap to the face of their beliefs. So she decided to move on and introduce Hulk to the citizens of this empire. Every single Hulk came to greet our Hulk, amazed at the sheer numbers of Hulks. Some of them even asked to play with the Hulk, but the Hulk said he doesn't want to hurt anyone. And the Queen smiled, telling him, "You cannot hurt anyone on this planet." And that is true. Every single one of them was a Hulk. So he went to play with his fellow men because they had apparently invented a game called God Ball. More on that later. But right now, the Queen finds out some bad news because just as the Hulk was being carried away, her assistant brought the recent scan from the science lab, telling the Queen what she discovered. But the Queen already knew. She could tell just by looking at him. The Hulk was dying. And I think Bruce Banner was the cause. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this. And I would appreciate if you dropped a comment below.